Hey, everybody, you're listening to the Total Basis podcast, where this is another fantasy football draft. So I guess it's now the Total Yards podcast. That's the suggestion someone made to me last time because we did do, excuse me, a fantasy football draft last time. And yeah, it was I don't know, fantasy football. I don't take too seriously, but trying to, get back into it. This is my second draft of the season, and with me as a special guest, he is Derek Mooney. Derek, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, brother. How you holding up?
This freaking cough won't go away, so I'll try my best to hold it at bay. But I got drinks, I got tea, I got soup. Yeah,
Are you
COVID.
having is it like upper respiratory stuff going on or
It's after the aftermaths of COVID. So
oh
I
that's right,
just
that's right.
I got COVID for the second time in my life officially. So, but here we go. The Jacksonville Crashers are on the clock. There's that jingle, and this is Christopher Godden. I believe he's the Eagles fan, right? You know these
Yep,
people
yep.
more than I do.
Very much so the Eagles fan.
Oh, he's going with Christian McCaffrey at number one, and who we go? Oh boy, is that Doug who's trying to join in?
Is Doug on there?
I guess so. Short guys finished last. That's Derek now. Derek, we don't like to talk about undrafted players here, but since you are, oh, you already picked. You're going with Bijan Robinson. Go ahead and talk about that
Yep,
pick.
let's roll. I think he's just going to put up some good points this year. He was very decent and just going to be a good, solid all-around pick. I'm not always the guy that takes the first guy at the top, but usually in the first 3 rounds, it's a pretty solid bet to just take who's at the top.
Blankenship is my what now? Is my whatever.
That's Alejandro, I believe. Alejandro Padilla.
Yeah, you're right, Alejandro Padilla. I have the members on the other list. I don't know these guys too well, so I'm just trying my best to keep up with everybody. I know he speaks Spanish. I found out that about that today. So
Yeah,
some
he's Hispanic.
some common ground. I don't know what part of Hispanic land is he from, but
Oh,
uh,
I was trying to remember that last night. So, fun fact about me and Alejandro: we met through video game trading groups
nice.
decades ago, and we he lived in Connecticut, I lived in Maryland, and we just kind of kept up with each other. Went and saw each other video game conventions. I used to go to his house with some buddies, and just from meeting online and just our kindling a friendship over the years, ended up being a groomsman in his wedding, and really good friends.
Okay, so you guys are that close. Really quick, is this what kind of league is this? Is this half PPR, no PPR? What are we doing
This
here?
is no PPR.
Ah, son of a.
Not a point not a point. We do take points on oh punt return kick returns. This is a kick return league. That's the
Okay.
only thing that makes it a little different than you just a regular average league. Not a PPR, but we do take points on kick returns.
Son of a
Everything
biscuit.
else is fairly standard though.
I've been practicing as if this was a PPR of some sort. I don't know why I kept thinking that. So yeah, I got to make some adjustments here. I did not practice any non-PPR. No, it is half PPR. Half you get half a point for reception. See, I'm not going crazy.
Oh, you know what? We changed that last year. That's
That's
correct.
what I thought. That's what I thought. All right. Brees
I
Hall went
forgot
number
we changed
three.
that last year.
Who's Kate Pedrera? Is that Alejandro's wife or something?
That's my little sweetie, Caitlin. What a
All right.
wonderful lady.
So she just
And
picked
really
CD
amazing
Lamb.
at foosball. Just a fun fact about her.
She's a what now?
Really amazing at foosball. The like table game foosball, like the little soccer
Yeah.
game.
Oh, I love that game. Team Rock. That's D's team, DEE. He's on the clock. But yeah, CD Lamb went to Katie's team. So pretty standard top four. I'm surprised Brees Hall went at number three. But other than that, it's pretty standard. Would you say so yourself?
Yeah. So far, D Rock, I believe, is Dan Polakar. Fun fact about Dan: one, I don't think he's on here. He is the keyboardist for Sean Paul. He's currently in Canada touring.
I remember that now.
So
Yeah.
he's also recorded some stuff or produced some stuff for members of Wu Tang and all kinds of other famous people. So he's probably the star in our midst.
Mm-hmm.
We also met through video game groups. We have a deep depth of video game group guys here.
I know. I'm just getting back into video games. I know you have a group for video games. I'm surprised I'm not more active in there, but I'm trying to be. I just beat Legend of Zelda, and I was
The new one.
no, 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 no. I'm not there yet, brother. I just got the Switch last year, so I'm way behind on everything. But Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
After
that's a good one.
a year of playing it, I finally got around to it.
Whining about.
I'm sorry, what?
No, my
Oh,
dog was
there's Doug.
whining.
Oh,
What's up,
okay.
bitches?
Doug. Tyreek Hill
Doug,
going
I
with
thought you were at band practice, Doug.
I got out. Got out of 6. I will
Tyreek,
post this. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right. I'll post the song to the Music League here in a little bit.
Sounds like a plan. Tyreek Hill going at number 5. So yeah, people are
It's
aware that
almost
this
my
is
turn.
a half PPR league, and we're
Ooh,
waiting.
How do I
gotta
always
try
get
to
a
find
fucking middle?
charger. The phone's leaking low.
I'm on
How
Ross
do I
St. Brown,
always get a middle of the pack? I always get middle of the pack.
and Doug just picked Josh Allen. He's a Bills fan, so that's not surprising there.
No, we knew that was going to happen.
That is your team, right? Emmitsburg Hooligans. That's you.
Yes, sir.
All right. And Team Butler, that's I believe his name is Rob. I don't know much about him. I know he gave you some advice last night, Doug, I believe, about or who the hell was he, or was he receiving advice? I don't know, man. Too many new people, too many
About what?
names.
Do
Something
you have a
happened
phone
last night.
charger I can borrow?
Jonathan
Is that Andrew?
Taylor.
Put some clothes on,
I'm gonna
Jared.
hold it. Zoom.
Let me put him on mute there for a little bit. Jonathan Taylor is just went. So now it's my turn at number 9. The last draft I did was at number 10. But you know what? Oh my God, there's so many good receivers here. Oh my goodness. Ooh, boy, I got a couple. I don't want to talk too much about them because I don't like to talk about undrafted players. But boy, oh boy, you know what? Oh, let's be different in this league. I'm gonna go with Justin Jefferson and start partying like it's 2023 again, or 22, I should say. That's when the last time I had Justin Jefferson was 2022. So I had Chase in my other league, so I'm gonna give Jefferson in this league. Hot Chubb's Time Machine. That's a pretty interesting team name there. That's Patrick Mooney. Is that your Derek? You're on mute. Sorry, I had to put you on mute. But are you related to Patrick there?
Yes, that's
That
a
is
cool
my
brother.
baby brother.
Oh, that's his birthday this weekend, right?
No. That's my little brother's birthday is this weekend. My baby brother is Patrick.
All right. Saquon
I
Barkley
mean,
and
my
Jamar
baby, he's
Chase.
still in his 30s, but
Oh, okay. No, I mean I got a 24-year-old brother, and he's still the baby. Although
he
the new
always
baby is my daughter. She's the baby of the family, so he's
Patrick's in California, and he is in the Marines. That's what he does for a living.
who
Does a lot of cool stuff with them. He's an aviation ordnance specialist, loads bombs, basically. Yeah, those the
nice.
big stuff.
Well, let's see how he
Thanks, brother.
loads bombs in
A
here.
little bit.
Saquon Barkley going to Patrick's team, and then Jamar Chase. Who's this is the Waymon. Who's that guy? Dave.
We picked. Oh, we got. He went straight through. Dwayne was from the Punk Rock Dads. I don't know him personally yet, but
Okay.
he's from the Punk Rock Dads group.
Yeah, Derek has a lot of groups.
Matthew McKeever, also from the Punk Rock Dads. He's in Canada, where actually Dan Pollicar is playing right now with Sean Paul.
Nice.
Around that area. But Matthew McKeever, I believe, is also auto drafting.
Okay, well that sucks, but yeah, that is expected. So I won't. I'll try not to focus too much on the auto drafted teams. Too much. Then I know I said I was gonna make fun of them, but nah. Anyway, a
Well,
team
they
has no
go so
name.
quick, you don't have time to make fun of them because they're over in a minute. So.
Exactly.
Keith Smith,
Exactly.
also from Punk Rock Dads, also an auto draft.
Alrighty then. Some AJ Brown and Puka Nakua going back to a team has no name. That's Matt McKeever's team. Wonder if that's an homage to no use for a name. This is Waymon, Patrick Mahomes.
My
So
Q
go ahead.
list.
What's
My
that?
Q list is getting shorter and shorter.
Yeah, you better keep adding to it, man. Especially with those middle 4 auto pick teams. That's going to be annoying as hell.
And it's going to go so fast, you're not even going to notice.
Yeah, and for some reason, my players aren't refreshing. I don't know what the hell happened here, but yeah, we're off to a great start. But Patrick Mahomes, so that's 2 quarterbacks being picked, one by Doug and the other one by Dave. Still trying to figure
One
out
year I
these
got
names.
them both.
Oh, that's just overkill, man.
I know, and then nobody would trade me.
No, well, I have a theory about quarterbacks, but I mean, you guys saw what I did last year with quarterbacks, and ESPN hated my draft, but I ended up making I think it was a semifinalist last year in this league. Garrett Wilson going, and now it's my turn. Oh, what happened to all the players I was wanting? Yeah, you guys took all my favorite players, man.
Gibbs is up, but Gibbs is questionable. I'm not sure the full status on Gibbs.
All right, well,
Go lay down.
I'm just gonna go Isaiah Pacheco. He was my running back last year. I'll go more of an even keel draft this one instead of going wide receiver. And again, well, I think we trust each other. I always try not to talk about players who went undrafted. I will talk about players who went drafted, but I don't know. I'm just a stickler for that rule. It's taught by me about 25 years ago, and then it's just stuck. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old fashioned. Thoughts on talking about players who have not been drafted yet?
I feel like drafts are harder in the past 3 years. It just seems like we have a lot more upsets in the NFL, be it injuries or be it teams or whatever. I think the past 3 years of football have been way harder than the past like 10 years of playing fantasy football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially, it's very, you're right about that. It's very unpredictable because ESPN always predicts that I'm always going to be dead last. They predicted I was going to be dead last in my other league that I just finished last week. But we all know what happens. Every year, ESPN picks me last, and I always end up making the playoffs. So we'll see if they're right with their predictions this year. But yeah, it's pretty tough. I don't know what to make heads or tails. Like, for example, Kyrie Williams was like borderline first round pick about a week ago. And then we find out that he's going to be doing punt returns, and his stock went down for some reason.
Yep.
Doug just picked another Bills player, James Cook. Over under on Doug picking Bills players. I'm going to put it at 4.5. What do you think? Doug with the homer picks. You're a Cowboys fan, Derek?
Fuck no, Green Bay.
What are you talking about?
Sorry,
sir?
I I was thinking about the other kid I know from your region, the Mid Atlantic region. He's a Cowboys fan, but no, you're a Packers fan. I'm a Bears fan. So, all right, this is where we part ways, Derek. Nice to meet you. Get the hell out of my. No, I'm just joking. You can stay around for a little bit. Jalen Hurts, Tamir Gibbs, Travis Etienne, Chris Olave, and Alvin Kamara back-to-back Saints going. Oh, you picked Alvin Kamara, so you're not worried. There's a lot of concern about Alvin Kamara coming into the season, but I guess you're not worried about him whatsoever, Derek.
So I'll say this about Kamara. I think he's excellent, and I did drop down the list a little bit, maybe 10 to pick him. Honestly, I love Kamara, and I'm probably a closet Saints fan. I will tell you, there's probably 5 years in a row I drafted Drew Brees as a quarterback. I loved watching Drew Brees play, and I started following the Saints just to follow Drew Brees, and so I continue to keep up with the Saints fairly well. And I think Kamala's going to be a hit.
I loved watching his hair recede.
I'm sorry, who?
I loved watching Drew Brees' hair recede.
Yeah.
Every year he got a little balder.
Or what was that little that blemish he had on his cheek? I don't know what the hell that was.
Right.
What was that? And it just kept getting bigger and bigger. I don't know what to make of it.
Herpes simplex too.
Oh, what now? Excuse me, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, going back to the number one pick overall guy. And that's Jack's Crashers, who we established that was Christopher, the guy who said, as long as we don't plan the draft around my rock shows, I should be okay. Otherwise, I'll just draft at the rock show, which is a pretty unique way to draft in the mosh pit. You ever draft in the mosh pit, guys, for fantasy football or any other sport? I will take that as a no.
What was your question? You kind of broke up in the end there.
Sorry, you guys ever draft in the mosh pit before?
Oh. No,
I'm usually moshing in the mosh pit.
You're not drafting in the mosh pit. You're not setting your lineup in your mosh pit.
No. And Doug is my concert going buddy, since he's also in the line with you. He will tell you, even at 42, I am the mosher. I barely leave the pit when I am shows, even at 42.
No, I got too many.
Do I hurt the next day? Yes, I do. But do I enjoy it? Certainly.
Last time I went to go ahead, Doug.
He looks half dead at the end of the show.
I feel half dead at the end of the show.
I sit on my walker the whole time.
Slew of players that's going by: Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Devontae Adams, Marvin Harrison Jr., George Kittle, and Doug going with Raheem Mostert. So no Bills player this time, but maybe next time. So that gives you. Sorry, the
Can't put all
jingles
my eggs in one basket.
Oh boy, it's my turn now. So I know Doug has his running back set. I am looking for something here. Oh boy, yeah. You know what? I've been picking Rachaad White in a lot of my mock drafts. And I think I had both Pacheco and Rachaad White in this league last year, so I'm going to run it back with those two, see what happens. So that gives me Justin Jefferson, Pacheco, and Rachaad White. And this is what do you call it? Unknown territory for me, because I've been in all my mock drafts and even my real draft last week, I've been leaning heavily on wide receiver, and this is the first time where I'm going where I establish my two running backs before I establish my wide receiver. So we'll see what happens there. So I'm a little nervous about that. But getting back to Doug, that means what, you got James Cook and Raheem Mostert as your running backs?
Yeah, I need to get receivers.
Okay. Well, I'll try to save you some on the way back, but don't count on it. And
So,
go ahead.
So I've been playing fantasy for probably 20 odd years, and I'm sure most of you have as well. I
Yeah.
mean, what do you think of the swing? I remember like 15 years ago, it was wide receiver, wide receiver. And then it was like wide receiver, quarterback. Now it's running back, running back. There's definitely been a shift in the way you almost have to keep up with the trends these days to draft. I mean, granted, ESPN and most things like tell you who the next big person is to pick, but if you're the person that like digs and does research, like why are you going running back, or wide receiver, running back? Like, what's your choices there for you?
I mean, I go as far back when the popular thing to do was getting running back, and then when in doubt, pick more running backs and wide receiver. Well, back when I first started 20, like you said, 25 years ago, the thing to do was, sorry, the jingle's playing in my ear. Sorry, hold on. The thing to do was, PPR leagues were not popular at all. It was just standard leagues, no pass per reception leagues at all, and that was a standard for all. It's still called standard leagues. And now I've seen the trend where a lot of leagues are going with pass per reception, and that's the way that people are doing it now. And
Yeah, that changed the game for sure.
So that's why you're seeing a lot more wide receiver. But yeah, it used to be running back, and then somewhere along the way, well, I mean, when everybody zags, I usually zag. So when everybody was picking their running backs, I was picking my wide receivers, and I was winning in that manner too, because I was able to figure out what the inconsistent market was for fantasy. Which, by the way, it's my turn. 13 seconds. I'm gonna go with DJ Moore. I usually go in another direction in this time of the draft, but you know what? I want to, let's have fun here. I'm gonna pick a Bears player. I never get a chance to pick a Bears player, and DJ Moore should be a good one this upcoming season. Sam Laporta just went, so
I don't
yeah,
think
go ahead.
I don't
Sorry,
think Bears.
what's
I'm
that?
sorry, I was going to say I don't think Bears and good players or good picks go
Oh,
hand
this
in
is the
hand.
year, man.
That's an oxymoron.
This is the year, though. This is the year. Oh
Don't they say
man.
that every year?
No, not me. No, the last couple of years were hell with Justin Fields, and then the year before with Mitch Trubisky. I kept telling Bear fans, you do not want Ryan Pace. Anyway, don't get me started. I don't want to talk about the bad stuff about Ryan Pace and that fraud. What the hell's his name? He's not with the Chiefs back again. Matt Nagy. Screw those guys. Frauds, all of them. Frauds. And Ryan Poles we trust. So that's gonna be the my cry for this season. But to answer your question, yeah, it seems like it's always changing. At one point, it was the popular thing to do, Derek. I don't know if you remember this, but it was to also draft the big name quarterback. And
I was a first or second round QB picker for many years.
Yeah.
Be it Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees. I was a top in my first two rounds. I would typically take a quarterback in the 2010 era. I would typically take a quarterback in the first two.
And I ended up winning a championship with both Rich Gannon and Drew Bledsoe. At that point, 2003, 2004, around thereabouts. People thought and this was back when Drew Bledsoe was with the Bills, and people were kind of giving up on him. And Rich Gannon was just a journeyman who ended up going to the Oakland Raiders, and that was the year that Gannon was breaking records, and then Drew Bledsoe was second in yards. That's something crazy. So I have always counted on waiting until the very end for quarterbacks, and people think I'm crazy for doing so. I mean, I was counting on Sam Howell last year to get me from week to week while I figure out my quarterback situation. By the way, Doug is on the clock with 50 seconds left to play. So we'll see.
I feel like quarterback consistency now, even if you don't get let's say your two QBs fizzle in the draft, I still think you can almost, if you drafted well other areas, you can still take a league with even a bench pick from QB these days. There are some shows, like some stars that you can count on, but it's not as consistent as it used to be to have like one superstar or two superstar QBs that you have to have.
I think what ended up happening there is that it just became such a quarterback league, because for a very long time, though, at the same time, the thing to do was avoid the running quarterbacks because they were so damn inconsistent with their passing. Now the thing to do is to get those rushing quarterbacks like a Josh Allen, who will vulture all those touchdown goal line opportunities from running backs. So it's almost like you have to, like, if you're going to get a quarterback early, they have to be able to rush for the ball, which that was You never drafted a scrambling quarterback unless it was Mike Vick, and maybe Mike Vick was the one who revolutionized that aspect, like the quarterback play.
Well,
As
because they
for
were also more prone to sacks being a rushing quarterback and also more prone to injury at the time. Like it was kind of that's why you didn't want one. There was a lot of risk on the table for the rushing quarterback in that day. Because, you're getting tackled, you might get the fumble. You're getting tackled, you might get injured, been out for a few weeks. So there was some pick and choosing there for sure.
That's true, but let's discuss to show you how it has evolved. Now everybody wants a rushing quarterback, and but again, I just keep waiting to the very absolute very last minute and of drafts to see what quarterbacks remain, and I go from there. Last year, I was trying to get both Aaron Rodgers and Anthony Richardson, and that didn't work out to my favor. As
Well,
you get
Aaron Rodgers didn't work in anybody's favor, including the Jets.
or
Um,
Richardson, so either way, I was screwed. So maybe you guys were helping me out there.
Even as a Green Bay fan, I was tired of Aaron Rodgers about 3 years ago. I
Oh
didn't like
boy,
the prima donna attitude. Like I just did not enjoy. And Green Bay has always been a solid. You have your stars, but it wasn't like a flashy show. We got a couple players and they're awesome, and the rest of the team's just a team. They've always been a team. Like they're very big. And I didn't feel like Aaron Rodgers was that. He thought he was set above everyone else, and I didn't enjoy that. Now was he a great quarterback? Sure, no doubt about that. But I did not enjoy his attitude towards just being better than everyone else, and it all being about Aaron Rodgers.
but I mean, there's rumors about that with the Jets now that it's still all about Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, that's the NFL for you. That's a quarterback league. We just talked about how the reason I'm able to get away with drafting quarterbacks late is because it's such a quarterback friendly league nowadays. Everybody produces that quarterback. They're all protected. The wide receivers are all protected. They get to run, and if you sneeze on them, you get a 15-yard penalty. So that's the result of it all. So I don't know why people are always in a rush to get quarterbacks so early, but me, I just like I said before, when everybody zags, I just zag. So
But
I
watching Aaron Rodgers in a fourth quarter throwing a 50-yard bomb is still one of the most amazing things I'll ever say about football. And Brett Favre was very similar. Like
oh yeah,
you
absolutely,
couldn't, if
absolutely,
you had 30 seconds on the clock and you were within 7, 8 points, you could not count them out. Still can't. Well, he didn't play last year, but I loved the just you couldn't put it, the game's not over until it was over with them. There was 10 seconds on the clock. There was still a win to be had. And that's why I always enjoyed them. Like you just
absolutely,
never knew what they were going to pull out in the end.
absolutely, absolutely. There was always you guys always had a chance to win games out of your butts with those two at quarterback. I know as a Bears fans, we
So much
witnessed it
so
firsthand.
did.
Yeah, and like I
And
said, as a Bears fan, I witnessed it firsthand. I just made my two picks. I went with T. Higgins at wide receiver, who I have not gotten on in any of my mock drafts or in any of my drafts or in my real draft last week. So I'm going in a different direction, but I always pick Zamir White in every single draft, whether it's real or mock. So going with the familiar name there. Any notable picks? Let's see. Calvin Ridley's off the board. Anthony Richard, we just talked about him. He's off the board. Team has no name going with the quarterback with one of his back-to-back picks. Joe Burrow's gone. Dak Prescott's run. So a little bit of the auto draft, taking a run at quarterbacks. I'm not panicking. I have a plan at quarterback, so I'm still good in that regard.
I've got
Uh,
a plan at QB too, and I'm up, and I'm going to show my pride in my team. I'm taking Jordan Love right now.
all right, that's been a pretty solid pick lately for a lot of fans and fantasy experts alike. Everybody's been high on Jordan Love. I love the wide receiver core you guys have up there in Green Bay. The running back situation is pretty decent. Good. I don't know if it's fantasy friendly, but it's pretty decent too. You guys expect to win the division again this year or no?
I think we got a good stance. If you look at Jordan Love last year, and well, I mean, we were at the beginning of the year touted to be so low the predictions of games and whatever, and still be able to pull the playoffs with such a young team and a freshman quarterback.
Hmm.
Jordan Love did an awesome job, and our whole defense was a little weak, but offense all showed up, and I think a lot of that was due to Jordan Love. I think his questions leadership was questionable to the the fans and the critics, and but I think that team, for such a young team, one of the youngest teams in the league, they
Hmm.
really killed it last year. And I'm kind of expecting a little more this year. So hopefully.
After Jordan Love, Zay Flowers, and Tank Dell go to Jack's Crashers. That is oh, what the hell's his name? I pretty freak. I gotta remember. Oh, Christopher, right? I should know better by now. going back-to-back wide receivers with that pick. Let's take a look at his team really quick as Derek is on the clock. See what a number one pick drafts this year. Let's see how that looks.
I almost want to go with McLaurin, but I have such a tough time picking any Commanders players or Washington in general because they're so iffy.
Fuck the Commanders.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, I'm no fan, but I'm just saying. I hope to see them on the upswing. I'm not a Redskins fan, but my parents, my grandparents, like being in Maryland before
the
Ravens were around. So I grew up in a Washington country, or Washington Redskins country. So it's still ingrained in me. I honestly have a lot of old school Redskins memorabilia around my house that might have been my grandmother's or my, great grandmother's even. So I still hold on to that stuff. So they hold a place in my heart. I just don't trust them anymore.
Derek going with Aaron Jones, by the way. So, yeah, Aaron Jones, the former Packers player. Let's go to Jack's Crashers teams. He has McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Devontae Smith, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Zay Flowers, and Tank Dell. Thoughts on that team there? Anybody?
Who Doug take there? I missed that.
The Ravens. The Ravens defense. So 7th round defense by Doug. He's cashing in early there.
Gotta get points somewhere.
Gotta get points somewhere. That famous words have been said there like that before. All right, my turn. Who do I got? I got Pacheco, Rashad White, Justin Jefferson, DJ Moore, T. Higgins, Amir White. Who's on my queue here? Oh, I could go quarterback, or I could stick with my plan and just keep focusing on the what do you call it? What do you call those guys? The position players. But you know what? This is I'm gonna do something out of the ordinary.
Players is such a baseball term, sir.
I said skill position players, all right.
Oh, I didn't hear the skill part. I'm like position players.
But you know what? This is this is a baseball podcast at heart, but so I will be using some baseball terms. Yeah, I'm set at wide receiver and quarterback. I'm sorry, and running back. So I'm gonna try something different here. I'm gonna go with Kyler Murray and hope for the best. So Kyler Murray, it always shows up this late in the draft for me in all my mocks and even in my real draft. And it's just yelling at me, pick me, pick me, pick me. So I give up. I finally picked him. So something different. So now I got Kyler Murray at quarterback, so I don't have to worry about quarterbacks anymore. Deontay Johnson goes to Hot Chup's time machine, and we established that is your brother Patrick going with that wide receiver from the Carolina Panthers. Let's take a look at your brother's team. Hot Chup's Time Machine. I think that's still the best team nickname in this league. Lamar Jackson, Saquon Barkley, Garrett Wilson, Calvin Ridley, Deontay Johnson, Justin Tucker, Brock Purdy. What in the world? Damn.
Oh, you got Tucker. Justin Tucker's a good pick, but yeah, I have to say, kickers. I love my baby brother, but he is a Bears fan, so it's a little embarrassing to be related to him.
All right, well, I forgive him a little bit. Oh, and he's on auto draft already. But man, if you're picking Justin Tucker this early, you added him at the very top of your
Tucker's a solid pick. I mean, he's putting up as much points as a third wide receiver or your flex position a lot of days. So it's
maybe in this league.
Kicker.
I don't know.
Tucker's a kicker, goofball.
I know, and he's putting up points.
Oh, I thought you said wide receiver.
No, I'm saying he's putting up as much points as your third wide receiver or your flex position.
He was number 2 on my queue list. Actually, I get him every year. I didn't get him this year.
Why aren't we paying for? Why aren't we playing for money again? This is kickers getting drafted in the before the 8th round. It's great. I love it. All right, let's see. It's Felipe's turn now.
McLaurin's been at the top of the queue for like 8 picks, and I find that funny. Everyone must have the same thought I do, even the auto draft. Like even though he's at the top of the queue right now, McLaurin is still sitting there.
Yeah, he sure is. Well, a lot of guys got players off my queue, but I do love me some Terry McLaurin, so I will take him. He's at the very top of my queue. So I believe in him. I love his game. He's now the prime. There's nobody else in Washington, and the Commanders finally got a quarterback who seems to know how to throw the ball. So hopefully it adds up. Another kicker. Oh well, of course that's Doug's team. It's fitting the Bills kicker, Tyler Bass. I love it.
Yeah, he's been shitty all preseason.
So why'd you pick him?
Oh, he's good last year.
Oh, okay.
I'm hoping that once the real pressure comes from the real games, he'll play well. but they
Yeah.
did horrible preseason, horrible.
Yeah, I know the Bears beat the crap out of them, which was very surprising for me.
Well, we played most of their like second, third, and fourth round players. They hardly played any of their first round players or their first string players. They
Gotcha.
played
Yeah,
all
yeah.
and while everybody else was playing their full defenses and everything.
I loathe the fact that Christian Watson just went to an auto drafter because that was going to be my pick, and that went last round or last person before me. I think that was Miss Perdera, and I hate that. Just want to say that.
What?
Christian Watson. That was going to be my next pick, and it was picked up by the auto drafter right before me.
Some pretty good players still available, though. Some really decent ones, but it is getting to that point of the draft where it's the cupboard's getting bare a little bit. So we're getting to that point of the draft. So this is where it gets interesting because now we're gonna see who's been doing their homework this offseason and who hasn't.
Bring me a shot at something.
So let's see here. Christian and now Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
Oh, you picked up Xavier Worthy. So you believe in the Chiefs and how they develop wide receivers there, Derek?
I do. He's not projected to have as much depth as he did last year, but I think with what's sitting on the board, I needed a wide receiver, and I still think he's worthy.
Alrighty. Aaron Rodgers going to Chris's team. So there it is. I've been hearing reports that he's not looked very good.
Football, okay? This is my extremely redneck uncle. Yeah, he sucks at football. He don't know nothing about it. He's a Cowboys fan, so we don't listen to him anyway. You didn't have to that. Why are you embarrassed? Yes.
Gotta love the Cowboys fans. They're everywhere. So what was I talking about?
My brother has that
Derek's up.
No, he did not say he loves the Cowboys, Kevin. He said Cowboys fans are everywhere. It's like cockroaches. You can't get rid of them.
Right.
I added the last part. That wasn't Felipe.
Like those Trump hats.
8 years old. What was that, like 60 years ago? All right, let's see here.
30 seconds, Derek. You got there. You got plenty of time. Oh my goodness. So Chris going back-to-back quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers and Justin Herbert. So I've been getting Justin Herbert in a lot of my drafts.
I think Herbert's going to have a good year. He's really settling in, I think. I think he's going to have a solid year.
Herbert?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. That's why I get him in all my drafts, but I got Kyler Murray earlier, so that's why I ended up getting stuck with. That's okay. Something different for me. All right. So Derek ends up getting, where are you? Are you short, guys?
Tennessee?
TJ Spears. Yeah, that's a good pick. I like that.
Or not yet, not Pierce. Why did I say Pearson? That's what I was looking at. I took Spears, Tennessee.
Spears. Yep. Yeah, that's a good pick. I like it. All right. Doug's on the clock. Let's take a look at Doug's team. Emmetsburg Hooligans. Josh Allen, James Cook, Rashid Mostert, Stephon Diggs, George Pickens, Evan Ingram, Marvin Mims Jr., Ravens defense, Tyler Bass. And he just picked, who did you pick? Oh, Marvin Mims Jr., duh. And Kirk Cousins goes off the board as well. I am Team Koopa Cups. It's my turn. This is a pretty easy pick. This is unless something bad happened and I'm not aware of. Let's see. This player, it's the same note from that I read last week when I was on the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go with DeAndre Hopkins. I can't believe he's still there. So if he's ever healthy, he becomes an excellent flex player for me. So love it. Jake Ferguson.
Still playing. How old is that guy?
34, I think, maybe.
Is that it?
He's still producing though. So
Is he still with the Vikings?
Titans. DeAndre Hopkins. Titans. He got traded.
Titans.
He either got traded or signed with them this offseason. I forget which one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about wide receivers, running backs. We're all stacked on those. Most people have a QB by now. What's everyone's thoughts on like looking at the tight end position or the defense? Defense, I'm a week-to-week person. I'm not going to lie. I will pick and drop defenses multiple times throughout the year.
Yeah.
It's good to have a solid one, but I usually carry two defenses, and it will change them week to week. I will pick up and drop defenses as they go.
Right.
That's a gamble for me.
I do the same
Tight
thing.
ends, you don't hear a lot about. You don't have any really superstar tight ends right now. What's everyone's thoughts on tight ends?
They used to be when you had Shannon Sharp, like people like that. That was my number one pick all the time back then in the 90s or in the
Or
early
Gronk
2000s.
or whoever. There's definitely your years you
Oh,
had
Gronk,
tight end that was
yeah.
a go-to.
But now that
you had
like,
those cheaper.
there aren't any real big, except for what's his dick from Kansas City?
Kelsey. Travis
Yeah,
Kelsey.
Travis Swift, whatever his name is.
Travis Swift, right.
Travis Swift. Yeah.
Mrs. Travis Swift. Right.
Yeah, Mrs. Travis Swift.
I've been notorious for picking tight ends at the absolute very last minute. And the most famous guy that I was able to get was Greg Olson back in the day. He was always tight end number 10. Like, really, you guys?
Who the fuck was that? Where did he play?
He played for the Bears and the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
Out of Miami University. And then now he ended up being the Fox Sports number 2 guy in the broadcast booth. Or was he trying to get number 1? I forgot. But now Brady's there, so now he feels all bad that he wasn't considered the number 1 guy there. So there's some issues going on. But Greg Olson, I've always been a big fan of Greg Olson. Back in the day.
Brady's where?
Fox, and he's also trying to buy the Raiders. So there was a big thing about it today that the Raiders, the NFL is telling him that he can't be, if he's going to be an owner, he is not allowed
to be a player,
to criticize the referees.
Oh, okay.
And he still has a gig at Fox. So what is he going to talk about if he can't criticize the referees is the question now. So it's an interesting dilemma.
Oh, so we're no longer allowed to question authority? I'm not all about that.
I'm sorry, what was that? Oh,
but the punk rock in me says we should be able to talk about the referees.
Oh Lord, excuse me, coughing coming.
All right,
But I just picked Brock Bowers to answer your question. If I'm not getting the elite tight ends at a decent price, or I always put, as you guys are seeing now, I always put onus on running backs and wide receivers, and I'll wait for everybody else, including tight end. I have confidence I could always find a really good tight end. Last year I got Sam Laporte off of waivers, and he took me into the playoffs. So yeah, I go ahead.
I was going to say my current pick was literally off name. It was Falcon, D Mooney, and I'm D Mooney. So I don't know how.
One of your relatives.
I had to break and roll with that. I mean, I'm not going to say we're not relatives. I will say by looking at him, though, it's probably way up in the tree. We have a whole different skin tone. If we are awesome, maybe I can get some free tickets. But if not, but that was literally off name Mooney. I saw a D Mooney and kind of had to run with it.
Darnell Mooney's supposed to be the deep passing option for the Falcons this upcoming year, so maybe he'll work dividends. It's
not expected to be your all-time receiver, but he is the deep threat supposedly.
Yeah, and with Kirk Cousins now, he's always looking to pass the ball deep, and everybody's what's that term? Bullish on the Falcons' offense this upcoming season. Do you believe in the Falcons there?
I think they run a consistent team. I think they have a good program.
Yeah, they consistently suck.
I think they have the ability. The term, any given Sunday, I believe they have that ability, whether it plays out or not. But I think they have the skill and the talent and the coaches to do so, whether it plays out or not. It's kind of the same thing with Washington. I believe they have the options, whether it plays out or not is to be seen. But the talent's there.
Doug, man, I wish I was healthy enough to laugh at your jokes. That was pretty damn funny. They consistently suck every year. The Falcons do.
Don't encourage him. Doug needs zero encouragement.
Derek, 5 seconds, buddy. In case you weren't paying attention, Jaden Daniels, that's pretty damn good. This late in the draft, he's just been sitting there, just waiting to get onto a team. So
he's probably trash. That's why. Probably not paying attention.
That is also a possibility for sure.
No, I took him because I needed a secondary QB, Doug.
All right.
It is my brother's 40th, and we have about 20 bottles of liquor here, but I'm inside with my Aunt Kimmy in the corner. She's being quiet. We don't get to see her, but...
you sitting in the living room? You sitting
at
your computer desk?
No. I'm in Cumberland. I'm at my Uncle Kevin's house.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out by looking at you, trying to see whose doorway. I didn't look like your walls. what I
No,
think.
no, yeah. You would know if it's my house. I'm not at my house.
But you
I'm
went to
at,
Cumberland for the birdie, but you wouldn't go the last 3 times I drove up there to see shows.
it's yes. I'm sorry I did not put your shows above my brother's 40th birthday. I will try to get my things together.
Damn, Derek, man. Priorities, brother. Priorities.
Well, Doug is, and he will admit to this. I do consider I'm the second oldest of 7. I have no big brothers. Doug is my big brother. He
That's
will
right.
in my heart and in my mind is always my big brother.
That's right.
You see that in our chats. He is my
Yeah.
big bro and always will be my big bro.
I
Derek's the
definitely
only
see
little
that.
brother I admit to.
Well, I've met your other little brother, so yeah, I get why you only admit to me.
Alrighty, my turn. I don't know what to do here. You guys got me stumped.
We're at the point where disabled and questionables are at the top of the list. So
Yeah.
I might pick
we
3
even
tight
have
ends.
an
I
out
don't
for
know.
season at the top of the list. How that's freaking weird.
This is a tough one. I mean, there's some decent players, but they have a
How is
lot of question
Hawkinson even
marks.
on here when he's out for the season? Like, I don't even get that.
I'm sorry, what was that last part?
How Hawkinson, I believe, is out for the season, and he's still listed as like the 5th pick right now.
Yeah, that's ESPN for. I don't know. They drag with their rankings, so I don't want to.
I mean, he could
don't know.
come back in week 15, but so if you want to gamble,
Aren't the Raiders starting a new quarterback?
I'm surprised the Raiders still exist.
Gardner
Oh, they're
Minshew.
they're in Vegas now, but didn't they start? I thought they were starting a new quarterback this year. I was just listening to or watching ESPN the other day. They were talking about if the quarterback had anybody to throw to, that might be dangerous this year.
With the
So
Raiders?
whoever it is they picked, they're thinking high hopes for him.
If the Raiders had anybody to throw it to?
Yeah.
Oh, they got plenty of guys to throw it
They
to.
got a new QB. Did they get a new QB this year?
I'm not gonna mention him because he hasn't been drafted yet. But yeah, there's definitely a new quarterback. You probably already know. He has a funny mustache. He looks like a throwback. But as far as they got plenty of weapons. They got Devontae Adams. They got Brock Bowers, the tight end I picked up. Jacoby Myers, who I love. Go ahead.
Bowers is probably going to be his #1 target.
I hope so. That's what I'm banking on, for sure.
Being a predominantly baseball podcast, funny mustaches should be usual for you for the past couple of years.
Well, not if you're a Yankees player, unfortunately. That's not. Oh wait, mustaches are allowed.
Mustache, yeah. I look at baseball cards now, and then I look at like the ones I grew up with in the 80s and 90s. I'm like, yeah, they're almost the same with the mustaches and the hairstyle. Like we went full circle there at some point. We got mullets back, and mustaches are. I mean, we had a big rise of mustaches again when the last Top Gun came out. You know, everyone had to have a mustache then. But now baseball's like doubling down on that.
Really quick, the last pick I had was Nick Chubb. I'm gonna take a chance and see what happens. That's another bench spot running back. I have 3 more bench spots to go. This is the tricky part of the draft. I never know what to do here. But let's see. I got 2 running backs and Zamir White and Nick Chubb on my bench. Terry McLaurin, DeAndre Hopkins, and wide receiver. Think when in doubt, just pick another running back. But which one is always the question. That's always the question. I think I'm going to go with, let's just go with it. Who cares? It's late in the draft. Zach Charbonnet of the Seattle Seahawks. I almost called them the Mariners again. I was almost always calling them the Mariners.
Wrong sport.
What's that?
Wrong sport.
Wrong sport. Yes. That's on me. Zach Charbonnet, I liked them last year when Kenny Walker went down. So at that point, you're kind of hoping for a Kenny Walker injury. And that's evil as that sounds. That's basically what it comes down to. Chuba Hubbard just went to Team Rock. That's another running back I was considering in the last pick. So yeah, it's only a matter of time before he started going off the board. I'm sorry, what was that?
Chuba had some decent games. He had some crappy games, but he had some decent games. I mean, he's
I like Chuba Hubbard, but again, too many running backs.
It's a gamble.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And this is the time, but this is the part of the draft. We have 4 or 5 more picks to go. This is the part of the draft where you're just rolling the dice on guys and hoping for the best. So, and
I get anxiety if I don't fill all positions, so I'm going with tight end this round. Like
you don't have a tight end yet?
No, I don't. That's why I'm going with this round.
You waited longer than I did. Holy crap! I thought I was bad. Jeez. All right.
If I go later than this round, though, like I said, I get anxious about it. So I'm going. God, I really hate Pittsburgh. I'm going with Schultz from Houston.
All right. He was on top of my queues. I was probably looking at him to get selected there.
I knew that. That's why I picked him.
That's been. I'm not even sharing my screen, and you already know.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm in your
Lord.
head, sir. I'm in your head.
Well, before I'd be kicking myself if I don't mention. Thanks, guys, for joining me this evening. I wasn't expecting anyone to chime in, but I know Derek, you're busy, and Doug, I really wasn't expecting you to join in, but I appreciate you guys coming in and keeping me company. Otherwise, it would just be
Absolutely, man.
me
I've always
talking.
got time for my brothers.
I appreciate that. I really do. So thank you for that. This draft is going by really fast. It helps that there's 4 teams on auto draft, so or maybe 5 at this point. I don't even know.
There's probably more than 5. I think we are at like 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I think 6 on auto draft.
Well, yeah, it's a free league. It's not. I don't think people take it
It's a
too
fun league,
seriously,
and
but
that's
it's a
what
fun league. Absolutely.
we try to make this a fun league. We used to have people that weren't, and there was nothing wrong with the individual, it had nothing to do with that, but they weren't on Facebook Messenger. And then, and I talked about that, but like we really wanted it to be an interactive, everyone just kind of talking smack, just kind of having the goofiness, enjoying football as football. I have pay leagues, and I've been in some of them for 20 years, and they're fun, but the fun leagues is literally just all about enjoying the sport and enjoying the smack talking and just kind of having fun with the game one of the Sunday, and just, a little stress reliever, a little something to have fun with.
And
It makes it more fun to watch the games when you're keeping up with your stats.
Exactly.
And like, I like football. I like soccer better, but I like football. And just that, like, I like football more now that I've been playing fantasy for like the last 10 years.
Well, and it does add another layer to the sport. Some years it's ruined it for me because I'm like, oh, I haven't paid attention to the Packers because I'm so interested in these 32 other teams that I have players on, and I've learned to level that out over the years.
And that's I was gonna say that's the reason I do fantasy sports. Period. It just keeps me on tabs on everything that has to do with Major League Baseball, the NBA, the NFL. At one point, the NHL, but I haven't really been into hockey. It's my turn really quick. I'm going to go with Trey Benson. I've been picking him in all my drafts as well. Second running back for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
How many teams do you have going on?
I have 2 teams. I have 3. Wait, you were him or me? I'm sorry.
You.
Felipe? Yes? Me?
Yes,
okay.
Felipe.
You got to use the right pronouns here. No. 2 football teams this year. Usually I stick with 1, but I ended up with 2 this year. 3.
I played 2 last year.
I only wait. What? You did 2 last year?
I played 2 last year. One was just I decided last minute to go and like do a random league online, and so I could compare the 2 teams, and it was a complete PPR team, 100%. And it was weird because like I would do really well on that league and have the same players almost, but in our league, because we weren't doing the PPR, I would do shitty. There would be like a 20-30 point difference sometimes in the weeks. I played in a league one year where it was a pay league, and we had to pay for every flipping draft we did, like $1 for each draft. It was hard. I'm gonna take a 3rd tight end just because I want to.
Dawson Knox. If he was on another team, I'd be very high on him. I like him a lot.
Well, Josh isn't using him well.
Well, they got the other guy though.
The other guy's gone.
Kincaid. No, Dalton Kincaid. I thought.
So a 3rd tight end in this league is one thing we differentiate from your standard league. Most flex positions in leagues only allow wide receiver or running back. We allow in this league the flex position can also be a tight end. So a 3rd tight end is not always a bad option in this league.
We should let quarterback be a flex.
Super.
Yeah, maybe the coach or the water boy as well. So
right. That would work out great.
Just to recap, my last 2 picks were Trey Benson and Blake Corum of the Rams. I'm going with the upside there. So I ended up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs on my bench, and only 2 wide receivers, no quarterbacks, no tight ends on my bench. So we'll see how that works out.
That's probably not good.
Yeah, I got away with it last year. You guys let me get away with it last year, so make me regret it.
I did auto draft.
Tell me because you were new. We're not letting it happen this year.
Okay.
I did auto draft. I got 3 flipping quarterbacks last year. and I couldn't
Oh,
get rid
you
of them.
did. I remember. Didn't I trade you for one at one point?
Yeah, so I couldn't get. Yeah, because you needed one like last minute. I couldn't get rid of them for the longest time.
Again, it's not a quarterback league anymore. So when auto
Right.
draft gets you 3 QBs, it's kind of like, dang, what do I do with all these?
Is
You
it my
don't want to drop them because they have value, but at the same time,
You got to make a real big boy decision there.
I do.
Josh Palmer went to whatever that is. Who's that guy? Geez, I just saw it. Oh, Matthew Wells, Antonio Gibson, Rico Dowdle, Browns defense, Adonai Mitchell, and Michael Wilson, who I've been pretty high on, and Xavier Legette. That's another decent pick there by Jacksonville Crasher. So I think Chris had a pretty decent draft. I always raise my eyebrow every time I see him pick. So very interesting
well,
draft he had.
Chris is always auto draft. There's a reason this league is called Auto Draft Kings. We probably should have shared that in the beginning. This league
Yeah.
is called Auto Draft Kings because half of the people here, they swear by auto draft. And we've had
Right.
many winners by auto draft, so they're not wrong in their statistical facts.
How many?
It doesn't always work, but it has worked many times.
How many defense do I have here? Just I have 2 or 1.
For your
I have
board,
2. Okay, good. I got 2. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I only have
I
one
just
kicker
took
though,
the
don't I?
Cowboys D, and now it's kick around for me. I mean, this is
I only have one kicker. So hold on a second.
So I just want to point out that Dontavian Wicks, another pretty darn good prospect receiver, went to Alex's team, Pedreira's team there. Blankenship is my brother. Alejandro, sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry. Alejandro going with Dontavian Wicks. That's pretty. I like that pick as well. But I end up getting so many running backs, I forget about these deep sleeper wide receivers. Brandon Aubrey, the kicker from the Dallas Cowboys, going to, what is that, 2 kickers for you, Doug?
Woohoo! Always take 2 kickers.
All right.
Hey, who took Aiden?
Who?
Did you take
Aiden?
him?
Who's
the
Aiden?
Las Vegas wide receiver.
Raiders?
What were you just talking about?
The Raiders kicker?
The Raider wide receiver.
Oh, I don't know.
We were just talking about him.
Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, Brock Bowers. Which one?
Aiden.
Aiden.
Aidan.
I don't know. It doesn't ring a bell. Aiden. I don't know. Is it like Aiden McConnell, the quarterback? I don't know. Anyway,
No,
my turn.
The wide receiver.
What? I don't know, man. You stumped me on that one.
He must be deep in the lineup. Like
he's projected to do really well this year.
I ended up getting the Bears defense again in this league, so I'm happy with that. Bears defense. Let's go Bears.
Yeah, I'm happy with that too. So I know when you play Green Bay that you'll suck at defense.
Yeah, take Green Bay. Yeah. Go take Green Bay. I like it. I love it a lot. Oh, if I'm lucky, if I put my cards right, I can get the kicker. That's my favorite kicker of all time. And that kicker is Young Ho Koo.
Who doesn't love a Young Ho?
Oh man, I love Young Ho's. And that's it. That's it.
I usually marry them.
Yeah, then they divorce you.
Right.
Oh,
it's true.
I love you, brother. That's all in love.
It's true. All right, what do I need here?
A third kicker.
Yeah, why don't you go with that?
I need a wide receiver on my bench.
Got 2 defenses, 2 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks, actually 3 tight ends, 2 kickers. Wow, you got
that part we talked about that. Never mind.
Yeah, this is
I'll probably trade one away. I wait to see who was going to do the best, and then I get rid of one.
All right. Well, I'm set at tight end, so I'm good. And Derek is on the clock. I don't know what you need. Well, let's take a look at your draft really quick.
I need a kicker.
Okay.
I'm taking Bates. Santos is at the top, but I can't morally take a Bears player. So I'm going to have to go with Detroit and Bates.
All right. So that's Jordan Love, Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans, Rashee Rice, Dalton Schultz, Jordan Walker, Dallas Cowboys, Jason Bates or whatever, Xavier Worthy, yes. TJ Spears, Darnell Mooney, Jayden Daniels, Jerry Jeudy, and Adonai Mitchell going. That's Derek's team, and that is it. We should be getting an email from ESPN shortly talking about how we did in our draft grades. Like I said, they always pick my team to be really bad. But Doug, let's start with you. What do you think about this draft today?
It didn't go as planned.
Okay.
It went better than my auto draft.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see what ESPN ranks me because I think I did better than my practice draft the other day, which they gave me a D on.
What would you rank yourself right now?
Me myself,
Yeah.
dude, I'm an Emmitsburg 10.
Then,
Easy.
Well, and Emmitsburg 10's the rest of the world 4. So
yeah, that's
That's
about
like
right.
a US 6. Yeah. I think my team's gonna need some help. I might have to hit the the transaction board here. See who I can pick up.
Yeah, and just to remind
Trade
folks,
for
Josh Allen's your quarterback, but so is Matthew Stafford as your backup. James Cook,
my
Rasheed
backup.
Mostert, Bucky Irving. Those are your only 3 running backs. Stephon Diggs, George Pickens. Who's Turpin? I don't know who that guy is. Kylie Turpin?
You
I
know
don't
who
know.
Turpin is?
I don't know who that guy. I never heard of that name. I've never seen him in any of my mocks. Or
He's the wide receiver for Dallas.
Cavante Turpin. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Evan Ingram was drafted pretty early by you, and then you also got
Yeah.
Dawson Knox and
I had to get a running back. I mean, tight end early because I was afraid I was going to lose out
okay,
on all
and
the
then
ones I had.
Isaiah Likely. That I've heard of his name before. I know people have been talking about him being a super
Great,
deep
and
sleeper.
he's hot or cold. Like he'll have a really good game, and then he'll go 3 games do shit.
Marvin Mims is Jr. is in your flex position. Ravens defense, Tyler Bass, and I think that's everybody on your team. But yeah, Likely usually does well when Mark Andrews goes down with injuries. So
yeah, and
mixed bag here.
I wanted Mark Andrews as my tight end, but he slipped out from. I wasn't paying attention. He slipped out from under me. He gets hurt and then he's out for a season. And when he's not hurt, he does everything.
And then
He's like the beast for Baltimore behind Jackson.
Derek, what's your team's name again? I forgot already. Short guys
finished last. I don't even know why that is. It's been that name forever.
All right. We mentioned your team again, but love Bijan Robinson, Alvin Kamara, Mike Evans. Is that Rashee Rice? Yes. Dalton Schultz, Kenny Walker, the third. Cowboys. Bates is your kicker. Aaron Jones, Xavier Worthy, TJ Spears, Darnell Mooney, Jaden Daniels, Jerry Jeudy, Adonai Mitchell. Any criticism about your team that in terms of weaknesses that you might see here?
Honestly, I'm honestly feeling pretty good. If I had to rank myself, we'll see what ESPN and we'll talk about in the chat later gives me. But I'm going to give myself. Go ahead, Doug.
According to the final standing predictions, which I take it with a grain of salt because I've been up. I'm ranked first again.
How'd that work out for you last year?
I ended up 8th or something.
But I would give myself a B-. Like I'm really excited about Love this year. Like I really feel good about him. I feel really good about Kamara. The flex position will probably change. I feel really good about Aaron Jones. He's not Aaron Jones that was with Green Bay, but if he given the right opportunities, I think he's going to be awesome. Again, Kamara, I really believe in.
Aaron
I feel
Jones.
Good. Yeah, he used to be Green Bay's running back. Yeah.
Where's he at now?
Vikings.
Minnesota.
Oh, well, hell.
Wherever Green Bay, where everyone goes when they leave Green Bay.
Right down the street.
But I feel really good. I honestly feel good. It's fantasy football. It's hard to say. It could change in 2 weeks, but I don't know. I feel good about my team.
Well, I'm hoping I did the right decisions here. Like I went out of my norm here. I didn't do the things I was doing in the mock drafts or in my real draft last week. So I went in a different direction just to get me some different players. Although there is some crossover. I did get Brock Bowers in both my leagues. Who else did I get in both my leagues? I think that's pretty much Zamir White, both my teams. Trey Benson in both my teams. But it's a nice variety. ESPN gave me a grade of D and is ranking me number 11, just like they did in my other league. But again, I always get ranked at the bottom of the barrel here.
Is that in your email? You said they send that out.
Yeah, it goes to your email that's linked to your ESPN account. So the positional breakdown, weaknesses, quarterback. Go ahead.
I got an A in my draft.
Oh, there you go.
It says my team could finish first.
Let's see. Let's see. Which
So that's a
sure,
good. I mean, I'm happy with that. I gave myself a B minus. They ranked me higher than I did, so I'll take that.
they have you predicted going fourth place. So we'll get to the final standings. But getting back, the weaknesses as quarterback, which is ironic because I actually picked a quarterback early in this league, and it's the quarterback that they spit on my face like you got to get Kyler Murray, you got to get Kyler Murray, and then I picked them, and they're saying that's my weakness at quarterback. I only got one quarterback though, so maybe that's the other problem.
Thanks
My
for putting
weakness,
up
the
with me.
bench, and my weakness is the tight end as well. Three weaknesses there. Which
You only got one quarterback?
yeah, I got one quarterback last year. I made the playoffs. So why, if it
We
doesn't,
talked about that. There's quarterbacks on the bench. If you need a quarterback, you'll
Right.
find one. It's,
Well,
it's
if you
going to
want
happen.
Matt Stafford, I'll hold on to him.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I'll just roll with Kyler Murray. I
He
think
does great silly Posturepedic commercials.
You probably need that, old man.
Yeah, I do. I can't afford it.
and I forgot. Oh, Kyler Murray's week bye week is week 11, so I'm good. I'm not gonna need one until later. All right, let's look at these final standing projections. Emmetsburg, that's Doug's team number 1 with the 3 tight ends and the 2 kickers and the 2 defenses and the 3 quarterback. I don't know. I lost count. This is the who's that guy? This is the Wayman,
That's
Dave
crazy,
Smith,
right?
huh? No, I'm just trying to figure out who these
That's
teams are.
crazy. What is your team name on the initials over here?
My team,
Yeah.
KK Koopa Cups, KK. But yeah, Doug finishing first, Dave finishing
Are you
second.
KPFS?
I'm sorry, what? You say something, Doug?
What is
What's
yours,
up?
KK or KPFF?
No, KK Koopa Cups.
What is your team over here, KK?
KK? Yeah,
Cooper
Kilo
Cup,
Kilo.
KK.
Okay, KK. Okay.
Okay. Jacksonville
KK will
Crashers.
take your baby away. That's what the Ramones said.
The KK Koopa Cups took my baby away, took him away again.
Is
Jacksonville
he still
Crash.
playing?
Who?
I
Koopa
didn't see.
Cups?
Yeah.
Yeah, Cooper
Cooper
Cup.
Cups. Yeah.
He was going early in drafts.
I didn't see where he went. Yeah.
Chris, Jacksonville Crashers going number 3. Derek going number 4. The short guys finished last. Hot Chups Time Machine. We established that's your brother Patrick, right? Number 5. Foam Fingers. That's Kate. Finishing at number 6. Team Rock. That's D's team. Number 7. Forgot his real name, but he goes by D on the Dan. Thank you. Blanket Chip is my brother Alejandro. Finishing number 8. A team has no name. That's Matt.
That's Matthew McKeever. Yep.
Finishing number 9, Team Butler, that's Rob. Finishing number 10, Koopa Cups, Felipe, number 11. And whatever, Matthew Wells at number 12. But again, every year they pick me. Every year, ESPN hates my drafts, and every year I make the playoffs. So we'll see if this year's
they
any
love my
difference.
drafts, and then by the second game, I'm ranked to come in last.
Maybe you'll have better luck this year. I don't know.
I don't trust these people. Are you in the basement now, Derek?
I'm getting ready to head outside. Yeah, I'm in the garage getting ready to walk outside, go back to my brother's 40th birthday. And love you guys. It was great.
Enjoy.
Felipe, thanks for hosting this.
Yeah,
and,
man, anytime.
Hope to talk to you all soon.
All right,
brother.
That was Derek. That's Doug. I'm Felipe. We'll see you all next time. Have a good one, everybody.
Later.
See you, Felipe.
See ya, man. Nice to meet you all.